guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We are here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg, and guess what? I have something that is so unique, I think it's going to get a lot of people's attention. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2024 Ineos Grenadier. This is the top Fieldmaster grade. But before we get into this retro-styled, beefy off-road SUV with some modern touches, let's talk about what's going on here. Ineos. It's very interesting how this company is growing and expanding to now include these off-road SUVs. Engineered in Austria, built in France, and really taking that 1980s classic Land Rover style, and like I said, adding some modern touches. Now, I really feel if you watch Mecum Auto Auctions, if you watch Barrett Jackson, you'll see that old school Land Rovers, old school Land Cruisers from Toyota are getting a lot more attention, and the values of those are going up, up, up and away. But what I want to find out is if you're looking for a beefy off-roader, but you want something unique, is the Fieldmaster the way to go with this 2024 Ineos, say over a Land Rover Defender? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, it's got that classy, boxy, rugged safari look, and I'm loving this baby blue color, a color that you would normally see on a sports car or some other vehicle. Would never think on an off-roader to have this baby blue. I'm in love with it. Up front, you'll notice how we have these very uniquely styled round LED headlights, daytime running lamps, a little bit of flat black, and I'm okay with that. And then as we work our way down, you do have some functional wire mesh venting for heat exchangers that are behind these stamped steel front bumpers. Now, if you're going to go off-roading, you're going to want some ground clearance. Over 10 inches of ground clearance. You'll notice we have our recovery hooks. That's where you'll be able to pull those Land Rover Defenders that get stuck out of the mud. And we have full steel skid plates running under the belly of this beast to protect things like the oil pan, the 2-speed transfer case, all those goodies. Now, as we come across the unique grille, I love the way it's got just a little bit of silver, everything else flat black, everything functional, and these awesome bright driving lights. You don't see this kind of style anymore. This is something that came from the 70s into the early 80s. It's kind of holding a sweet spot in my heart. I'm really digging the look. We drop back down, you have more wire mesh, more functionality in the center and down below as well. And then of course, we're gonna have another powder colored tow hook. Now, you do have a mechanical 2-speed transfer case and a beefy 4x4 system underneath this thing. But let me know so far how you feel about the front end. Definitely rugged and feels very old school in a very good way. Now, as we rise up, you'll notice the hood is that older style, raised, very narrow opening of a hood, but we have the Ineos badge, and we got a little bit of flat black by the windshield because you'll notice that this is powered by BMW, and we'll get into that a little bit into the video. Now, as we come around the bend, because this is a Fieldmaster trim, you're gonna have off-road wheels, off-road tires, and there's one more thing I'm gonna show you, but not yet. Dropping back down, you have these beadlock, simulated beadlock wheels, nice off-road style machined aluminum with this flat gray multi-spoke setup. Tires, very important. These are those Bridgestone Dueler all-terrain tires. They have actual shielding in the sidewall to protect them, and they got a little bit more aggressive tread pattern grip. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this wheel? 17-inch wheel, 255 on the width, 70 series sidewall. I'm gonna have Steven kind of zoom in and show you that we have a SAC suspension. You can see the special springs that they run, those bright yellow springs. And what's cool about Ineos is that this one doesn't have it. It's got a regular black painted box frame. You could actually get them different colors, the frame. Kind of gives it that extra touch. Now, this is part of the Fieldmaster option. As we rise up, this guy right here is part of the Fieldmaster option. So you have a functional from the factory, large snorkel. This is gonna allow you to go deep within the water and not have to suck in any of that H2O. I have Steven kind of turn around and show you here the functionality for that snorkel. Flat black on the mirror caps. Love all the exterior hinges. Gives it that rugged feel. You do have stationary running boards, which are removable. And if you notice all of these screws, you could actually attach things to the side of your Ineos. So if you got a bunch of hard boxes, whatever, you could attach a bunch of stuff to the side of the vehicle, really make it that go through anything hauler. Now, as we come down the side, I love the way that to open up the doors, you actually push on the button, the exterior button, and the door opens. Got a nice solid feel. We have these roof rails where you'd be able to strap things on, a nice large rain gutter so that the water doesn't come inside the vehicle just all over you if you have the windows open a bit. We keep coming towards the rear. Nice large quarter window. Of course, you could get a pop-up tent. You could get all sorts of things to haul up top. And then as we swing it around back, like we started up front, you have a stamped steel rear bumper. Love the way they did the taillights, like a freaking bullseye on a dartboard. We got our exposed spare. Of course, you got your full tow capability, can tow over 7,000 pounds with this. And we have our recovery tow hooks on both sides. And as we drop down a little bit, look, protection, like I said, all the way back, and even has a ladder to help you get up and down from the roof of the vehicle. So if you're gonna do some overlanding, this would be the vehicle to do it in. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop that hood and see what's powering our Ineos. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on our Ineos Fieldmaster. You do have a prop rod. I'm not gonna zonk it because it kind of ties it in with the old school, but underneath the hood is not old school. That is nothing but new school. What do we have? It's a 3-liter inline 6 turbocharged engine taken right from BMW. Like I said, remember, Austrian engineered, built in France. So what do we have? It's going to be that straight 6 that puts out 282 horsepower, 331 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission with that 2-speed mechanical transfer case. You got a locking diff, 0 to 60. Don't race anybody. Don't even race a person on a skateboard or an elderly person in an electric cart, because this does 0 to 60 in 9.6 seconds. It's governed to a top speed of 99 miles per hour. MPGs, 15 in the city, 15 on the highway. And like I said, it tows over 7,000 pounds, 7,716 pounds to be exact. But why don't we fire up this BMW engine and hear what this Ineos sounds like. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Ineos Grenadier Fieldmaster trim. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, how much is this thing? It's pretty killer, and I really am excited about it, but how much is it? MSRP, right around $81,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. You'll notice you have soft touch material up top. There's a bunch of gloss black, and as you can see, the dust, the fingerprints, the goo just shows up way too easily on that, so that's a zonk. But I do like the contrast stitching, and the door pocket is a good enough size for 2 Yeti cans, so definitely bring your Yetis with you, and you'll be able to stay hydrated. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, you have that aeronautical style design with the AC vents and oh crap handle for your passenger. And then you come on in, what do you have? This massive 12.3-inch infotainment system / digital gauge cluster. Not my favorite. I don't like it when it's just everything in the infotainment system, but you do have your off-road gauges, you got your fuel gauge, coolant, obviously your speedometer and your tach, but it's all right here. None of it is anywhere else in this vehicle. If I go home, you can see it's full touchscreen capability, not a problem. Go back to off-road. There we are, working our way down. You have a compass, kind of cool. And of course, a clock in the center. Then you're gonna have a lot of switches and knobs. So these are for the standard AC controls. I'll be honest with you, they feel a little on the cheap side. So I am gonna zonk that. It should feel like it's out of a jet plane if it's gonna look like it's from a jet plane. You have 3 stages of heated seats, no ventilated seats, and then you'll see the cool controls. Like I said, it looks like something out of a plane. The way they have everything set up here, your automatic start stop to turn it on and off, radio knob. There's our mechanical 2-speed transfer case to use the 4x4 system. You'll notice they took this right from the BMW parts bin. That's the shifter for the 8-speed automatic. You have a little bit of a control knob here and different menus you could access. Good old-fashioned e-brake with some nice leather and stitching on it. 2 cup holders. This thing is as hard as a rock wrapped in leather with stitching, so not the best. But you do have 2 USB-Cs, 12 volt, and enough room in there for 2, probably just 2 Beanie Babies, maybe 3, but that's about it. Seats made by Recaro, the leather. You know how I know they're made by Recaro? It says it right there. Recaro seats, leather, nice bolstering, stitching. The zonk is manual adjustments for the passenger, manual adjustments for the driver, and you don't have any carpet in here, which I personally like. The other thing that's cool is you got switches up top. So all these different switches, toggle switches, accessory switches, and you have 2 glass panels that pop up to let cool air in. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I'm gonna show you behind just the steering wheel because there's nothing else to see on the driver's side. Come on over. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Nice large openings to pull yourself in. I'm 6 feet tall and there's plenty of room in here. Love all the toggle switches and stuff. Really, really cool. Steering wheel is beautiful. The different types of leather. I like the way they have this piece of trim top dead center. Flat black on all the switch gear. Now what's interesting is you have actually a little toot horn for bicyclists. So if I push this, you get a little bit of a toot compared to hitting the horn. Much different. Watch this. See that? But I love the leather. It is manual tilting and telescoping. And I just wish they would give us some type of digital gauge cluster. These warning lights, these idiot lights, made me feel like an idiot. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat and see how much room there is in this Ineos. All right, guys, back seat time. And if you like minimalism, you're gonna love this, especially for off-roading. Now, what's cool is the back seats are also Recaros. So you're getting Recaros for everybody in here. The zonk is there's no pockets or anything, so you just have hard plastic. If you're collecting pine cones, you're gonna have to put them in between your legs, and if you squeeze too tight, you may never be able to have kids, ever. So just something to think about if you're collecting pine cones. There's no pockets to put them. You do have these large AC vents for the rear seat passengers, 2 USB-Cs, or excuse me, a USB-C and a USB-A with these little doors. Once again, I'm 6 feet tall, and the great news is because of that boxy style, that safari style of this Ineos, there's plenty of room for everybody. There's not much here for $81,000. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the cargo area. I feel like there's an echo. Cargo, you hear that? There's like an echo back there. It must be a lot of room. Let's get back in the cargo area and see what we could haul on our next endeavor. All right, guys, cargo area time. Now to get in, it's real simple. Come on over here, let me show you. It's gonna be right behind the ladder. You're gonna push that exterior button just like on your passenger door. Opens up. This gives you easy access. If you want more room, easy peasy. Look, I'm not even looking. Covering my eyes. Wow. Look at all that space and how easily accessible it is. So you're looking at about 41 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Fold the seats down, you're looking at 71.8 cubic feet of space. I love the way everything has this nice protection. There's no carpet or anything in that. That's what I like about the Ineos. It's made for rugged durability. You do have a 12 volt, which is great for an electric air compressor. And like I said, those seats will do the 60-40 split and slide down. Lots of tall room. You could get, let's say you want that jukebox. You want to get that jukebox for your man cave. You could pick it up easily with one of these, or maybe like your own popcorn popping machine like they have at the fair. Just put that in there and then put it in your man cave and you could pop all night long, baby. But you know what? I'm not popping any corn. What I want to do is go on throttle. So if you're ready, I'm ready. let's take this Ineos for a little spin. All right, guys, we left Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. We're in this 2024 Ineos Fieldmaster. Right away, it's an interesting kind of setup in here because, like I said, it feels very old school, but it also feels like it's got the new tech in the infotainment system, in the power choice, all of those things. But what's great about it is that visibility is amazing. Love the room and the old school safari feel. I think you're gonna get a lot of looks as you're going down the road because of just how different this thing is. It is really, really different. Now, navigating with this, and it's interesting because there's a Land Rover Defender. It's interesting because things like turning radius don't exist. The turning radius in this vehicle, I'll be honest, is dismal. So just something to be aware of. Not a very good turning radius, especially if you're trying to make a quick U-turn or something like that. It isn't going to happen quickly. Getting to the 12.3-inch infotainment system is well within reach. You have all your physical knobs, more knobs and switches than you'll ever want to have. And if you've been wanting to be a pilot, like that's something you've always dreamed of, then this vehicle is going to be right up your alley. Even having the glass roof up top, just, I don't know, it just makes it really open and airy in here. And the Recaros definitely earn their keep. I mean, they're not so much about major bolstering, but just overall comfort feels phenomenal in here. You do have an old-fashioned ignition key as well. There is no push button. Even with all these buttons, there's no push button with this vehicle. But let's go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. So that ZF 8-speed automatic is responsive. It's got smooth shifts. And like I said, with the BMW engine, the transmission, if you've ever driven a BMW, with this engine and transmission, you're gonna feel it. It feels BMW with the setup. There's not a bunch of boost lag, which is really nice. But I think the best part is the visibility. It just, you're sitting so high, nice open view. And the seats are superb. The suspension tuning, it's not bouncing all over the place, which is great. And surprisingly, there's not a lot of road or wind noise, which you'd think it would be even more so, but they did a good job with sound deadening and trying to keep the exterior sound out. Yes, we do have a rear tire that's a little low on air. I think it might just need to be topped off. So we're going to take care of that. Don't you worry. If you're noticing the light that we're low on air pressure, we will be taking care of that. But nice to have the off-road gauges. I just want something in front of me. It's really weird driving and having everything over here. I want something right in here, in front of me, behind the wheel. But the steering wheel itself feels great. Nice thickness. Of course, you have all your safety features, lane keep assist, all those things to keep you safe in the modern world. And that's what I was saying, is like the old school modern setup in here is crazy because you have the old school style, but you have all the modern tech and amenities. Would be nice to have ventilated seats at $81,000. I'm gonna go ahead and make a U-turn right here and show you the challenges of that. So here we go. As you can see, I mean, I have it fully cocked and I have to turn into that driveway. Not very good. On throttle, here we go. Definitely feels faster 0 to 60 than 9 seconds. So from the inside, it feels peppier, but on paper, it's 0 to 60 in 9 seconds. But that's not what this vehicle is about. What it's doing is providing a certain environment for you to enjoy your off-roading. because that's where this really is going to flex its muscle. With 10 inches of ground clearance, the off-road tires, the snorkel, all those things, that's really where this comes into play. But it's nice that it's comfortable to drive to get to the off-road locations in your area. But I just love the rugged feel of this thing, especially when you close the doors. It feels like a vault, like you're closing a vault door, which is cool. And then of course, like I said, the room in here, the comfort, it feels really good behind the wheel of this Ineos. And this is definitely a vehicle you could drive every single day. Another thing that I'm liking about this driving experience is that the sounds that you're hearing, especially underneath the hood, are all real sounds. There's nothing being pumped in through a speaker system or anything like that. It's a very kind of back to basics feel when it comes to the overall driving experience, and I mean that in a very, very good way. It's a nice blending of comfort, but like I said, with that old school look and feel of an old 70s or 80s Land Rover. And it really is a lot of fun to drive. All right, guys, pulling away from the light. Really has some decent low down torque, and I like that. But throttle sensitivity is great. Steering feel, it's a little vague, but I think that that's going to play a bigger role when you're off-roading. If you're really concerned about just the asphalt driving experience, then obviously you're missing the point of this vehicle. It's about the off-roading where this thing really comes in big time. But we are back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete, and we are going to wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day in so many ways here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. Definitely got to thank Miro and the rest of the crew getting us this 2024 Ineos, being that top Fieldmaster trim. Let me know what you think. Are you liking this old school feel, especially on the interior, where it almost feels like you're a pilot of an aircraft, of an actual plane? Let me know in the comment section if you would take this over a Land Rover Defender. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Of course, we need to give it up, Stephen Flood, working the camera like the champion that he is. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.